My name is Nancy Cuttle. I'm a sculptor. I've lived in Milton for 15 years, and you are standing in my sculpture garden on my property. I've worked over the years in glass and steel and stone and clay, and this is winter stone, and now actually I'm working in paper. But the most important thing about me that I feel as an artist is that I want to have a message in my work. I want to say something to people and have them react. So I have come to the conclusion in the last year or so that in the way the world is going right now, maybe all people want is a little bit of comfort in their art. But for me, I need a little bit of confrontation to really say what I am as an artist. So this is part of Fenced. It was an installation that I had at Wholesome Gallery. It took me 3.5 years to build, conceive, and it was about the barriers that we put up in society and how people react to those barriers. So there was different emotions, and the figures reflect that. Now, for Studio Tour weekend, I don't even know quite what I'm going to reconfigure this again, the internal part of it and the message. And with this world that we're in right now, there is so much confusion, so much fake news, so much everything that I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say. I know it's about barriers, fences, maybe walls, and you'll have to come see what I have here, but it's fun. I change it all the time. So these 5 sculptures figures that I've created are actually emotions that people react to when they come up to a fence. So this is called Constrained, and she's the one that's on the outside of the fence running along, not knowing what's going to happen in life, and all of a sudden, bang, she's hit by the fence. Just the way barriers come up to people in life. The far one, the dark one in the corner, that very angry man, in the original installation, he was on the inside, right against the fence, looking out, and he was really furious because he couldn't get out. So that would be somebody who was trapped in a barrier of some sort. Not who is hanging on the fence like this is just not too smart, not too tall, not too energetic, not too anything. He's like the kid who hangs on the fence in a baseball game and wishes he could come in. So he's hanging on the outside wishing he could get into that fence. The one that is sneaking into my compost garden actually is called Bodacious, and she is boldly audacious, and she basically, when she sees barriers, goes under them or around them, which I think is a bit of a self thing about me actually. And Freedom is the one that everybody loves, that you can see from the street, and Freedom is the one who made it into the center and she was safe. She's flying the Canadian flag with pride, because that's what I'm all about too, as a Canadian. So this will all be reconfigured. And when it is for Studio Tour, because of all the changes that are going on in the world and the fast, rapidly changing news stories, I'm not even 100% sure what I'm going to do until the Thursday or Friday before this tour. And you'll just have to come see what you see. So part of my theme for this Studio Tour and my thinking as I go along philosophically is, why do artists do work? Why do I want to do work? And it is to have a message, to communicate to people. But in this world of what's going on right now, I think, do they really want confrontation or not? Or maybe we should just do nice work that keeps people happy and gives them peace and quiet. So an opportunity came along with FASM, with the building of the new hospital. Our president was bound and determined that we were going to bring art to the community, that art is a healing mechanism, which I certainly agree with too. So we started, Tina Newlove actually was asked to design a work of art that would be in the hospital, and I came along and looked at it, and I had just been to Halliburton learning about cardboard art and got all excited about it, and she said, I really want to have this mural moving somehow. And I said, oh man, I know how we can do that. We can do a little bit of bas relief. So the two of us worked together. We did proposals with Ursula to the hospital and came up with, finally, after quite frankly a couple of months of negotiating back and forth, came up with a mural idea. But they wanted it huge. So they wanted it 10 feet high and 33 feet long. So we've discovered that 10 feet high we couldn't get through the door, so we compromised on a triptych of 8 feet by 33 feet. So this is the finished mural, a reproduction of it. And it is of the escarpment and the change of seasons. And what we're hoping, it's 15 feet up in the main entranceway, and where the cafeteria is, where people will be going to have some rest and peace. And I have to say it's magnificent. But the wonderful part of it was the collaboration that we went through as a group of members of FASM. We volunteered over 1,200 hours to build this, 24 artists working on it. We spent 9 months working on this, basically, between designing it and then getting our volunteers in, our artists, all FASM artists, to come in and work with Tina on pulling the whole thing together. So it's pretty exciting, and Sunday, October the 1st is the first day it's open to the public. So I think you'll be blown away by it. It's FASM's gift to the community for healing and peace. And so there's the comfort part of what I was doing. The confrontational part will come. I have to have the message, but this is pretty exciting. So in this studio, in my studio, when it's cleaned up, you will be able to see the process. So you'll come and I'll explain how we put it together and everything else. Then you can go to Waldy Blacksmith Shop, which is Studio 2, and there you can see this and you can actually order it. We're selling these as a fundraiser to help pay for the mural. And then you can go to Tina's studio and see the original works and meet the actual artist and have a chance to buy some of her drawings and paintings. And then we also there's wonderful photography. Our photographers, they've blown up their work of the Niagara Escarpment into wall vinyl hangings, filling rooms with the escarpment and nature and everything. So they will be there, and they will have their smaller versions of it, giclées, for sale as well. So a lot of this tour is about this mural, and the wonderful thing is it's there permanently, and everybody's going to be able to enjoy it.